It's very hard to talk about him in the past because he was so present in all of our lives.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're sharing some of the heartbreaking times when celebrities memorialized famous friends and colleagues after they passed away.
It's like, oh, come on, don't do this.
Whoopi Goldberg for Patrick Swayze.
But he never thought of himself as someone who was dying because, as he said to another good friend of mine, he said, you know, we're all dying.
In 2009, the magnetic star of Dirty Dancing and Ghost passed away not long after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. His friend and former co-star Whoopi Goldberg paid tribute to him on The View.
He just was a cat that never gave up, and I'm...
If you can do it, it's the way to do it. Not everybody can. But.
No, but I would like to be able to be that. I would like to have that brave.
She credits his fortitude in the face of a devastating illness as an inspiration to her. Although her fellow panelists had their share to say about him, Goldberg's closeness to Swayze is so clearly evident as she closes out the segment with tears in her eyes and a quiver in her voice.
Because of Patrick Swayze, I got that movie Ghost. And because of Patrick Swayze, I have an Oscar. And there you are.
Yeah.
David Letterman for Johnny Carson. When the former king of late night died in 2005, one of his many spiritual successors, Late Show host David Letterman, had a special surprise for his audience. He dedicated his January 31st episode exclusively to paying tribute to Johnny Carson.
At the end of the day, the guy you wanted there was Johnny Carson. What a tremendous luxury, if you think about it, to be tucked in at night by Johnny Carson.
He opened with the standard monologue, hilarious and sharp as ever. But then, he revealed that the former Tonight Show host had sent him these jokes in his last few months.
Every one of those jokes I did a few minutes ago were written for us over the last couple of months by Johnny Carson. And tremendous act of friendship.
It was like Carson himself had come back for just a moment to test out some new material.
One thing that people today still ask me about, and they think it was unbelievably funny, and they can't get over it, and they always, did that actually happen, and what was the deal on that? And the interesting thing about this, it had nothing to do with me. It was all Johnny.
He closes out the tribute with a musical performance led by Carson's former music director, Doc Severinsen. Tom Hanks for Michael Clarke Duncan. Retelling a story his Green Mile co-star told him about his tough childhood, Hanks used his eulogy for Michael Clarke Duncan as a chance to celebrate the late actor's sense of humor. Duncan told Hanks how his mother forbade him from joining a gang in his youth.
You the gang now? That's what I'm gonna go. Oh, shit! Fuck. She came down with his frying pan across his head, and I'm guessing pork chop went flying all over the place.
The place sounded more like a comedy club than a memorial service, as he recounted Duncan's story and how his mother reacted.
And he goes, okay, Mama, cut it out of my head. I said, now you go tell your friends you ain't in that gang.
The story isn't just funny, but it's also the perfect demonstration of what everyone had to say about Duncan. Despite his size, he was also the sweetest person.
My mama says I can't be in your gang.
John Cleese for Graham Chapman. As 1/6 of the groundbreaking comedy team Monty Python, Graham Chapman's lateness already saw him jokingly referred to as the late Graham Chapman. Like his castmates, he was a fan of the irreverent. So John Cleese's eulogy for him was a perfect showcase for their shared humor.
Breathed his last and gone to meet the great head of light entertainment in the sky.
Instead of going for the kind of mindless good taste Chapman hated, Cles honored him by being completely vulgar and mean-spirited in his cutting, completely irreverent remarks.
Well, I feel that I should say nonsense. Good riddance to him, the freeloading bastard, I hope he's found.
It's the kind of humor that can only work if you really know someone well, and that just makes it all the more special.
He would never forgive me if I didn't, if I threw away this glorious opportunity to shock you all on his behalf.
Oprah Winfrey for Maya Angelou. When the famed activist and poet passed away at the age of 86, Her memorial service was a testament to her influence on some of the most important people of the last century. A former president, first lady, and an Oscar-nominated actress paid tribute to her. Oprah Winfrey was among the most touching speakers.
Those people can't hold a candle to the light God already has shining on your face. Can't you see it?
Known for her elegance and poise, Winfrey's remarks are refreshingly and movingly vulnerable. She becomes visibly tearful as she speaks about her friend and mentor's advice to her about fame and meaning.
She was my anchor. So it's hard to describe to you what it means when your anchor shifts.
Her final words about legacy, echoing the author's own, are the perfect testament to Angelou's words and her place in history.
Your legacy is every person you ever touched. Your legacy is how you lived and what you did and what you said every day. So true, Sister Maya.
John Stamos for Bob Saget. Despite his squeaky clean image as Danny Tanner on Full House, the late actor and stand-up comedian was notoriously filthy. Describing themselves as brothers, Bob Saget and John Stamos were incredibly close.
When I read my last text from Bob, it said, "I love you so much. I will say that God gave me the brother that I wanted." I said, "Well, you have a lot of God-given brothers, but I'm first, right?"
Saget's sudden and tragic death took everyone by surprise. Stamos made the perfect eulogy for him, borrowing some of his trademark humor. In the speech, published in the Los Angeles Times, he runs the gamut from off-color jokes to heartbreaking realizations about losing his friend.
People have even sent flowers like I lost my wife or something. Come to think of it, when we were together, we were like an old married couple. All bickering, no sex.
Comparing themselves to an old married couple, Stamos ends his eulogy by calling Saget baby. And then we all sobbed.
I don't have to say goodbye because he's never leaving my heart. You are my new guardian angel, a guardian angel with the dirtiest mouth and a heart as big and benevolent as forever. I love you, baby.
Will Smith and the cast of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for James Avery. When the cast of the hit sitcom gathered for a 30-year reunion in 2020, there was one noticeable absence. James Avery, the actor who played the beloved Uncle Phil, passed away in 2013.
To represent, to expand, to push forward, and I learned that here at his feet.
An entire segment is dedicated to the cast's memories of Avery. Clearly, he made a massive impact on his colleagues. Will Smith credits the actor with being a father figure and a mentor who pushed him to hone his craft.
I am in such a unique position, and that responsibility, you must elevate your craft. You have to represent, and you are paving a way.
In the cast's eyes, he was the glue holding their family together on and off screen. His dedication to his art and his co-stars as people is such that just watching clips of him brings them all to tears.
He knew what he was doing.
There's some people that plant seeds. Yeah. That's what they do. Yeah. And they do it to anyone they come across.
Cher for Sonny Bono. At the beginning of a 60-plus year career, Cher was actually one part of a duo that defined her early career. Sonny Bono was her husband, her manager, her mentor, and her advisor.
We have a very strange relationship that no one will ever understand except us. And I don't think I even understand it a lot.
I don't either.
All right.
Although the dissolution of their marriage was contentious due to his controlling behavior, Cher still loved him dearly. Her stories about his rascally sense of humor are genuinely hilarious and must ring true to everyone in the room, given how everyone is doubled with laughter.
One of the first things that he ever told me was that he was a descendant of Napoleon. And that his father had shortened the name of Bonaparte to Bono when they came to this country.
But her characteristically funny eulogy about their early relationship soon gives way to breathless, sobbing declarations of gratitude to have known him.
And no matter how long I live or who I meet in my life, that person will always be son for me.
Kevin Costner for Whitney Houston. The beloved singer's funeral wasn't just star-studded, it was an epic live stream event. Speaker after speaker, performer after performer paid tribute to Whitney Houston, but Kevin Costner's eulogy hit especially hard.
We heard you like to sing, but our sister could really sing.
Having personally postponed production on The Bodyguard so Houston could be in it, he knew her talent was worth waiting for.
In the room when we found out that Whitney was going to be on tour and she wouldn't be available for our movie, the anxiety came right back when I said we should postpone and wait a year.
Speaking of their shared faith, his awe at her talent, and her humanity, he paints a picture of who she was behind the voice and the stardom. Costner closes his remarks by imagining that God must be marveling at Houston, a perfect creation.
Knowing that there's a lady in heaven who is making God himself wonder how he created something so perfect.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Billy Crystal for Robin Williams.
He made us laugh. Hard. Every time you saw him.
The famous funny man's untimely death in 2014 was tragic for a lot of reasons. Everyone felt like they had lost someone very important to them. While many eulogies poured in, it was Robin Williams' old friend and comedy partner Billy Crystal who broke our hearts. Given a block during the 66th Emmy Awards, Crystal spoke of their 40-year friendship.
Well, as genius as he was on stage, he was the greatest friend you could ever imagine. Supportive, protective, loving.
He praised his late friend's immense comic talents while choking back tears, before zooming out to the cosmos, likening Williams to a star all his own. Crystal later described it as one of the hardest things he's had to do in his life.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever, if not the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Did these celebrity eulogies bring a tear to your eyes? Let us know in the comments.
These